start out by thanking everybody for coming. It's really important and we really appreciate it. And I know you guys have a lot to cover. Today, Vermont Legal Aid and Disability Rights Vermont filed a lawsuit against Adult Protective Services System for its ongoing failures to protect elders and people with disabilities from abuse, neglect, and exploitation. Adult Protective Services has continued to allow hundreds of allegations of abuse, neglect, and exploitation to wait for months before investigating. In addition, Vermont has assigned investigators caseloads twice the national average, thereby making it impossible for investigators to respond to allegations in the urgent manner that they deserve. The Department of Disabilities, Aging, and Independent Living promised to fix this problem in May. However, they failed to meet their statutory obligations to begin investigating within 48 hours of receiving a complaint. They have maintained backlogs of 150 to 300 uninvestigated cases over the course of the year and to the present day. They failed in their responsibilities to develop an adequate response to urgent calls on nights and weekends. Vulnerable adults are people incapable of protecting themselves from the nephew who steals the Social Security check, or the caregiver who leaves a woman with physical and cognitive limitations sitting in her feces, or the man with a traumatic brain injury who is frightened of the neighbor who threatens to beat him. These are the people who should be protected by a system that fails to respond quickly to the abuse and neglect and exploitation, but which does not respond quickly. We have attempted repeatedly over the past year to negotiate a solution with Adult Protective Services without success. As advocates for elderly and people with disabilities, we no longer can be patient. Over the past year, the system has been gravely out of compliance with its statutory mandates. We are no longer confident that Adult Protective Services will repair itself without judicial oversight. What we're going to do next is we're going to have 3 people speak, and then Michael Benvenuto and myself will take questions. We're both from Legal Aid. Okay?
Hi, I'm Tom Davis. I'm the president of COVE, Committee of Vermont Elders. Our job is to work for and with the elderly. We work collegially with the government in many ways. We provide information to the legislature, but we also have a responsibility to protect those and to ensure that the laws protecting people are enforced. This is not the case right now. In the 70s, it may seem unusual to have a lawsuit filed by many of you here today, but this was a way of life in the late 60s and 70s, and government was continually called to task to enforce the laws that it enacts. Because if we enact laws just to feel good about them and don't enforce them, then they don't amount to very much. Several things are different from the 60s and 70s. First of all, there is far fewer members of the press out there scouring for stories. Everyone knows that. Too often, the press is stuck with information provided strictly by the bureaucracy itself or any given administration, and the people who really know what's happening are not touched. The other thing that's happened in reorganization of government, which I was strongly in favor of at one time, is that we really have lost the participatory nature of working with the legislature. Too often people are gagged when they go to speak before the legislature, people within the bureaucracy and others, and this has been going on for several administrations. we at Cove don't want this to be the last thing that happens. We are filing this lawsuit. Many of the people who we will be working and talking with are our friends. We'd like to work collegially. We'd like to solve the problem collegially, but we have been working for 2 years and we're further back than where we are when we started. I would mention the problem has really gone on for at least 5 years. Okay, that's enough for me. You don't get questions from me because I wouldn't have the answers.
Okay. Good morning. I'm Dr. Mark Kaufman from Vermont Center for Independent Living. The smile on my face is a little ironic because it's a very sad thing. We support this lawsuit and the goals that are contained within for no other reason than the protection of the people who need most. At VCIL, in the past 6 months, we received 3 reports and complaints that we passed along to APS. In 2 of those cases, they were able to respond to us that they had started the investigation in about 3 to 4 days, far beyond the legislative mandate, the regulatory mandate. The most egregious example was where we reported domestic abuse of a young lady in her home. 1 month later, we were able to finally contact APS. They got back to us after the initial report. And what they got back to us with was asking if we knew where the people were because the house was empty. We had no clue. 1 month after a report, no investigation, and the people have now disappeared. Throughout this, we have wanted to work with our administration, with the various agencies, and we believe in the good people that do good work there. But this is an unconscionable abrogation of societal right. It's an unworthy way for our agencies to act. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Sandy Conrad and I'm the Executive Director of the Southwestern Vermont Council on Aging. I'm here to represent the 5 area agencies on aging in our state. I want to second everything that's been said previously before. This is something that our agencies have been trying to work with Adult Protection Services and Dale to try to resolve all of these issues. The major thing that I think that hasn't been said yet, we would like to see Adult Protective Services to be mirrored in the way that we provide child protection services in this state, so that there is not only investigators but social workers that help people through these issues that are going on. So I just want to say that the agencies on aging are happy about this day, that we think that this is what needs to happen to make some changes.
I'm going to list quickly the groups that are here just because I want you to make sure you know. We have Vermont Legal Aid here. We have Disability Rights Vermont here. We have the Older Women's League. We have the Community of Vermont Elders. We have Green Mountain Self-Advocates. Vermont Center for Crime Victim Services. The Vermont Network Against Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault. The AARP. Can someone help me with AARP stands for? Okay, AARP is good enough. The Southwest Vermont Council on Aging, and the Champlain Valley Agency on Aging and Project Independence. This is a broad swath of the elder and disability community.